morning and welcome to Temple Update. I'm Tasia Morgan.
And I'm Rebeccah Hendrickson. The Temple community joined Neil Theobald as he was officially named the 10th president of the university. Students, staff, and alumni gathered in the Temple Performing Arts Center to welcome a new face and new vision to the university. Dr. Neil Theobald has been serving as president since December 2012, but this past week marked his inauguration. Update Stetson Miller is live at Sullivan Hall where the historic event took place. Stetson?
Good morning, Rebeccah. I'm live outside Sullivan Hall. Now, President Theobald was inaugurated less than a week ago, but he's been busy since. He's been making alumni visits this week and soon will tour the country to share his vision for Temple alumni and friends. Now, he laid out his vision in a 6-point plan that aims to make Temple more affordable, more entrepreneurial, and more engaged in the city.
In my 25-plus years in higher education, I have not witnessed a finer undergraduate education anywhere than is offered by Temple University.
As he was watched by a full audience of students, faculty, alumni, and even the governor, President Theobald outlined a 6-point plan to move Temple into the future, including a renewed emphasis on excellence in teaching.
The quality of a Temple education will always rest, first and foremost, on the quality of its extraordinary faculty.
In addition to teaching, President Theobald's 6 points include putting students first and making sure they can afford a Temple education, making Temple more engaged in the city of Philadelphia, creating research that changes lives, ensuring the Temple student population is diverse and international. Finally, he made a commitment to advance innovation and entrepreneurship across the entire university. President Theobald ended his speech asking for support to join him in fulfilling his 6 points.
Join me here, now, in fulfilling Temple's commitments and creating a future that is full of promise on this urban frontier. Thank you very much.
As I mentioned earlier, President Theobald has plans to move on to his presidential tour that begins just next month in a few weeks in Harrisburg. For more on that, let's head back to Rebeccah in the studio.
Following his inauguration, President Theobald is scheduled to tour around the country to share his message and vision to alumni and friends. Let's take a look at some of the dates closer to home. On November 7th, Theobald will be speaking at the National Civil War Museum in Harrisburg. November 13th, he will visit New York City. And on the 19th of November, he will make his way back to North Broad to speak in Philadelphia. Now, the tour will extend through 2014. For a full list of locations and to RSVP, visit inauguration.temple.edu/presidential tour.
Following the inauguration, the Temple Performing Arts Center held a performance to congratulate the new president. 11 acts were performed in the first half of the show with no breaks in between. The performers have trained for months to execute the musical pieces. The concert ended the inauguration for music lover President Theobald. Homecoming brings students and alumni together to celebrate the changes throughout the Temple community. Updates Ankit Patel joined in on the fun.
Homecoming is a time for current and former Owls to come together as a community. Temple alumni are especially excited to visit friends and the school they attended.
Coming back to homecoming, being able to connect with alumni that I grew up with here at Temple was important.
It's grown, and I think it's amazing how that each school has a tent, and I think it's a really good vibe, for future generations.
When our alumni come back on campus, they love what they're seeing, all the changes, and it just results into a great weekend for everyone.
Homecoming started off with a cake and ended with an annual homecoming football game. But alumni were excited to talk about the growth of Temple's campus.
Each time I come back here, it's great because I learn that there's a new building somewhere on campus.
I think it's definitely exciting when you see the city growing, you see Temple being able to spread its wings a bit.
I think the changes are great. I mean, it's funny to come back and see the giant, Leocourse Center and the new dorms.
With all the fun activities around Homecoming Week, Temple students also gave back to the community with a canned food drive in support of Philabundance.
It's great for our student body to support the community, and I'm glad that Main Campus Program Board does that every year, and they do an amazing job with that.
Temple fans were most excited about a Temple football win, the first of the season, and the first for Coach Matt Rule.
I hope that this is our game today.
I think that it's always good to be home, so I think they have a good shot of winning today.
Everyone in the Temple community, young and old, are coming out here and enjoying homecoming week. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Ankit Patel.
Ambler campus also celebrated homecoming with games, food, and a crowning of their own king and queen. The celebration may not have been as extravagant as Temple's main campus, but students were able to take part in some festivities. Moon bounces and beanbag tosses were set up outside the Learning Center for Ambler Homecoming weekend. The event ended with a crowning of a king and queen to represent Ambler.
Every year, Philadelphia media travel north on Broad to honor the careers of select Temple alum in the industry. Update Seth Wozniak joined the stars for the celebration.
Who says 13 is a bad, unlucky number?
The 13th annual Lou Klein Awards drew a variety of familiar media members to Minton Hall. Although one of the 6 recipients could not be in attendance, E. Stephen Collins, his wife and son shared their appreciation and memories.
Temple University was such a big part of E. Stephen Collins, where he first fell in love with radio.
Like Mom said, he was so excited for today. He just kept saying, guess what? You don't have to go to school on this day because I'm getting an award today.
Along with Collins and Whoopi Goldberg, who received the Excellence in the Media Award, 4 other Temple alumni were honored for the Lou Klein Alumni in the Media Award and shared their thoughts after the ceremony.
Lou Klein is the godfather of communications at Temple University. He was my mentor when I was here.
It's not so much about the recognition to me or anything like that, but yeah, being around people that are so successful in their own careers.
I mean, during the speech, and I meant it, it's the only Hall of Fame I wanted to be in.
Once the recipients took to the stage, they shared their many thanks and appreciation on receiving their Lou Klein Award, but also shared their favorite stories from their times at Temple.
Got the keys to the studio, so from there on out, it was like, man, I was in there every night.
It's great to see some of the trucks and the old faces still in the trucks, doing the same things and still yelling at people.
Being veterans in their field, the recipients also shared their advice for inspiring media majors.
Never take no for an answer, and always question authority.
There's always room for somebody that is motivated.
And I know I'm supposed to look at him for the interview, but I'm telling you all at home, intern.
Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Seth Wozniak.
This year's top honor of the awards added a Louie to her Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. Actor and comedian Whoopi Goldberg was the 13th recipient of the Excellence in the Media Award. She took the stage at Minton Hall to accept the honor, joking that they must have called the wrong Whoopi. Her acceptance speech mentioned the challenges she had to overcome as a child. We caught up with Whoopi as she made her way to the student talkback. She spoke with Temple Update about her award.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal, and it's sort of, I'm dumbstruck by it.
Students filed into the Temple Performing Arts Center to meet Whoopi for a talkback after the luncheon. She drew from her range of experience to answer questions from members of the audience about succeeding in a competitive industry. The main idea behind her lecture was to persist through adversity.
Temple University may be facing a credit rating downgrade from Moody's Investor Service. The agency says it will cut the rating if the university doesn't do something to mend the deep operating deficit of Temple Health System. A downgrade in Temple's credit rating would mean an increase in the university's operating costs and higher interest payments. Professor of Economics Richard Bernstein says financial costs could be translated to students if the university decides to borrow more money. Professor Bernstein said that any effect of a downgrade probably
borrow more money to build facilities. The cost is going to go up, and that of course, is reflected in the tuition that's passed on to the students.
Professor Bernstein said that any effect of a downgrade probably wouldn't be felt for a number of years.
When we return, we take a trip to London, where a professor is taking his lessons outside of the classroom.
And hold on to your pants, we'll take you to a haunted house that will scare your britches off.
Plus, it may be a good idea to clean up those tweets. Student athletes left the court for the bleachers to learn the backlash of social media.
I'm here at the sports desk with all the latest.
Once a prison, now a haunted house, terror behind the walls at Eastern State Penitentiary has been attracting people from all over the Philadelphia area. There's something to scream about with tears behind every turn. Many changes have been made to the attraction this year to make the event more interactive. Wearing a bloody X and a glow necklace tells the actors that they are allowed to touch you or take you from your group. The annual Fright Fest continues until November 9th.
One Temple professor believes traveling is the best teaching method. We head to London, where Marianna Zimmerman goes from the classroom to the streets to get the story.
Sitting in a classroom on Wednesday evenings, Temple students can be found roaming the streets of London, exploring all the different neighborhoods and sampling some of the fine cuisine. Professor Brian Ridgers has an unorthodox teaching style, and he knows what he wants his students to take away.
Experience, thinking critically, engaging in London as a place, sitting in and just reading about doing things when we're here and we could go out and do things. I think there's no substitute.
It's a really engaging class. It is traveling, in a sense.
On this particular Wednesday, Professor Ridgers and the students explored the famous Brick Lane and re-walked a famous serial killer's crime path.
I thought the tour was great. It was a little creepy at points, but it was really nice to have a teacher who could show us small alleyways and then get to a different side of the city and explain why all of a sudden we're in a different, structure.
A Jack the Ripper tour followed by an Indian dinner is just another typical class for Temple London students. Being the middle of October and with Halloween just around the corner, a look at one of London's most famous serial killers is a perfect travel class adventure.
The Jack the Ripper stuff is sensationalist. It's also amazing to come to the place it happened, which is still a part of the city that's very vibrant.
Temple London is certainly enjoying their classes while abroad and are getting a chance to explore some of London's unique history and culture. Reporting for Temple Update in London, I'm Marianna Zimmerman.
Students lined up outside of the Howard Gittes Student Center to listen to an ESPN veteran. Stephen A. Smith served as the keynote speaker for this year's Homecoming. Smith is an analyst and talk show host for ESPN's First Take.
Understanding the trials and tribulations that are inevitable, understanding that you've got to persevere, you've got to be about the business of going for yours. You have to expect obstacles, you have to expect to be knocked down. It's not about what trials and tribulations you ultimately encounter, but how you respond to those kind of challenges.
His message to students was to know your strengths and play off of them.
The athletic department hosted professional development seminars with ESPN anchors to help student athletes represent their school through social media. Updates Kevin Otte joined the athletes off the field and in the audience.
Several hundred student athletes came to McGonigal Hall for the second installment of a professional development series entitled Striving for Excellence. Host Mark Williams brought ESPN Sports Center anchors Jay Crawford and Jay Harris to talk about social media and networking.
We have social media and everyone wants to use it, but it's really not as free as we would like it to be, just because, we are representatives of our families, our universities.
Just to be mindful that we're representatives of our university. I mean, we're told that all the time, but to hear it from them means a lot.
I think it was a great seminar today, and I'm really excited to meet them personally.
Harris and Crawford took questions from student athletes and offered real-life advice on being successful after graduating from college.
Now it's our turn to give back and help as many people as we can, and I look at it as dropping seeds.
Jay Crawford has to be on TV tomorrow morning, so it showed you their commitment. So we wanted to bring people in that reflect the values that our company espouses, but also the passion and also the interest of wanting to help student athletes be the best they can be.
And even during the meet and greet, the two SportsCenter hosts stressed the importance of using caution when it comes to social media.
Be careful how you present yourself, how you brand yourself. Have fun, but always know that somewhere, someone out there is watching, maybe a prospective employer, and maybe a current administrator or a teacher.
The next speaker in the series will be NBA Hall of Famer Rick Barry. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Kevin Ott.
Coming up, we continue to celebrate Temple Update's 25-year history.
And Alexandra Gallo will have a look at your 5-day forecast. We'll be back.
Up on Temple Update, Tommy Sladek will be here at the sports desk, and I'll have the story from the Temple's homecoming game versus Army.
We'll be back
after the break.
Hello, Al fans, and welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm Tommy Sladek. The men's and women's basketball team laced up their sneaks and hit the court for the first time this season. But first, we take a look at how the football team fared in their home game against Army. A hungry Temple football team looked to get their first win of the season against the Army Black Knights. The thirst-driven Owls came out explosive in the first half, scoring 26 points while keeping America's defenders scoreless. P.J. Walker led the team, passing for 203 yards, including a 37-yard touchdown pass to Jalen Fitzpatrick in the first quarter. Running backs Kenny Harper and Zaire Williams each found the end zone, rushing for a combined 144 yards. The Owls' 2 interceptions of the day were their first interceptions of the season. The Owls went on to beat the Cadets 33-14. The Owls came into the game without a win, but that all changed on homecoming. Update Simone Cuccurullo was there to witness the magic.
Army strong or Temple tough? That was the question at Lincoln Financial Field as the Owls went out to battle the squad from West Point.
This was the first time we didn't shoot ourselves in the foot early. This was the first time, we didn't play losing football before we played winning football, and as a result, our kids won.
Behind the arm of rookie quarterback P.J. Walker, the Owls jumped out to a 26-0 lead in the first half, looking to get their first win of the season.
I just went out there and just threw the deep ball. I practice it every day. I warm up throwing deep balls. That's make your arm stronger.
But Walker's offensive performance wasn't the only strong point the Owls demonstrated on the field.
I think the story today was, in my opinion, was the defense. The defense came out and set the tone the way Temple defense has early.
In fact, the Owls defense had 62 tackles, 2 sacks, and their first 2 interceptions of the year. This included big plays from Tyler Matakevich and Nate D. Smith, which helped propel the team toward the 33-14 victory.
It was about time. This was the time to get it. This is the time to get it. We got it. And I think from now on, things are going to keep moving in the right direction.
Temple will be looking to improve their 1-6 record as they take on conference opponent Southern Methodist University this weekend. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Simone Cuccurullo.
There may only be 5 football games left of the season, but basketball is only a few weeks away. The team hosted the annual Cherry and White Night at the Lee Course Center to get fans excited for the upcoming games. The fans enjoyed dance routines and three-point contests from both the men's and women's team. Head coaches Tanya Cardoza and Fran Dunphy both agreed that the event was a great chance for fans to interact with the players.
It's awesome. Every year that I've been here, it seems like the fan support has gotten greater and greater, and for, the student body to come out and show their support, it means a lot to me and my team.
It's great when that section is filled, when that student section is going crazy over there. That's a great help to our team.
The women will face LaSalle at Tom Goulet Arena on November 8th, and the men will take on UPenn at the Palestra on November 9th. The nationally ranked field hockey team plays their last home game on Friday against Georgetown. If you can't make it to Geezy for the game, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at @TU_SportsDesk for updates. Back to the studio.
Still to come, Allie Gallo will have your weekend forecast.
And we go back to a decade when leg warmers and elevator shoes were, totally rad.
Temple Update will get gnarly when we return. MTV features artists from all over the world, and now it's highlighting one of Temple's very own. BriaMarie Moss-Wilkerson's new single, Bye Boy, is now featured on MTV.com. The opportunity to record the song came from her internship at a record label.
My whole life. So I was really searching, and Philadelphia has such a rich culture with music, and we have so many great artists that came from here. So one of my favorite artists, Music Soul Child, is from Philadelphia, and the production team that he came up under is in Philadelphia. That happens to be Carvin and Ivan.
After she graduates this spring, BriaMarie wants to continue her music career and venture into television acting.
So Tasia, do you have any fun plans for this weekend?
I'm thinking about going to a haunted house, if the weather permits, of course.
Right, weather permitting. Hopefully it won't be too cold to go outside. But we now head over to Allie Gallo in the newsroom with your 5-day forecast. Allie?
Good morning, Becca and Tasia. You'll be happy to hear that it's not looking like there's anything to worry about within the next 5 days. Currently, it's 44 degrees, which, yes, is chilly, but the sun is out and it's going to warm up to be 54 today. Frank the frat boy is wearing just a light jacket, which everyone should do if they're getting ready for class soon. Looking ahead to your weekend and 5-day forecast, tonight will be mostly clear and a low of 34 degrees. Tomorrow starts the weekend, which I'm sure everyone is looking forward to, and it's going to be a good one. We'll be starting to celebrate Halloween on and around campus, so here's everything you'll need to know for dressing up. Friday will be a high of 55 degrees with plentiful sunshine and a 0% chance of rain. The low will be 34. The sun will continue into Saturday with a mix of some clouds. It will be a high of a warmer 57 and a low of 41. Sunday still looks good. There's only a 10% chance of rain for the Eagles vs. Giants game. It will be a high of 56 around kickoff time and a low of 36. Looking ahead to the start of your week, Monday is going to be a bit warmer with the sun still shining. It will be a high of 60 degrees and a low of, again, 36. So like I said, there isn't much to worry about. There is still a lot to do outside before fall is over. So since it's the week leading up to Halloween, definitely plan those trips to the pumpkin patch or haunted house while you still can. For the latest weather updates, be sure to follow us on Twitter at @TU_weatherwatch. I'm Alexandra Gallo. Becca and Tasia, back to you.
Now, Tasia, did you know that in 1988 it was the first year that CDs outsold vinyl records?
I did not, but did you know that 1988 was the first year Temple Update had their first show? Time surely does fly.
It really does. Let's take a look back to the 80s to see where it all began.
Welcome to Temple Update. I'm Ann Lingerfelter.
And I'm Lisa Johnson.
Congratulations to H. Patrick Swigert on his appointment as Temple's Executive Vice President.
Democratic Senator Edward Kennedy recently came to Temple University to speak at a rally for the Dukakis-Benson campaign. Temple Update's Joanna Cuccurullo has the story.
Senator Kennedy says our educational system is in turmoil.
This administration has put the loan and debt on the young people of this country.
Kennedy also says a lack of adequate funding has severely affected those who would like to take part in our educational system.
A sport that has not gotten a lot of attention from the American media is box lacrosse.
Temple students Terry Cogan and John Taylor are American players in a traditionally Canadian sport.
The Owls will try to regroup as they travel to New Brunswick on Saturday to take on the rejuvenated Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
I'm Lisa Johnson. We'll see you next time.
That's all we have for this edition of Temple Update. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
You can also watch us on Comcast Channel 50 and Verizon Fios Channel 45. For Tasia Morgan and the rest of the Update team, I'm Becca Hendrickson. We'll see you next week.